Hey, it's Lord Surtr again with the Tier 1 Frigate Abyssal tier list for Calm Gamma filaments. So, the Gamma Calm filament is the Tier 1 version of Frigate Abyss. You do need 3 to enter with a Frigate. So, it doesn't matter if you go solo, duo or trio, you still need 3 filaments because you're a Frigate. So, in here you get the gamma ray afterglow system effect, abyssal weather. So here you get about 50% shield HP, you and the enemy, everything in here, every entity in here gets shield HP. And also a penalty to explosive resistance. In most rooms that will be a minus 30. It will be minus 50 on occasion, so be prepared. If it suddenly hits a little harder, maybe it's minus 50. It will show above your capacitor. So, that being said, I'm gonna keep it short. Let's get into it. So, here we are with the tier list. So, we are gonna start with the first one. I'm gonna go alphabetically. That would be the Astero. So, the Astero is a sister of the frigate meant for exploration, but it has a decent combat capability, so you just use a drone bay and autocannons to kill your target. Drones make sure your DPS is mobile, and the autocannons is more like extra to pop a can or anything that gets too close. It's armor tanked and can run electrical, exotic, firestorm and gammas, just not dark. It is 155 million in cost, so it is on the expensive side. Then we have the Crow. So the Crow is a interceptor, and for the Crow you need very good missile skills. I would say rocket skills specifically. Also, you do get around 150 DPS with rage maxed out. So that's on paper the minimum you want to get. Although it does fly pretty well because rockets do apply fantastic. It is shield tanked, of course, and you just need to be able to sit in it, as the interceptor skill for this one does not add anything of value. This one comes at 111 million, so it's still a little pricey. Next up would be the Damavik, and the Damavik for Gammas will most definitely be a solid A tier. Yes, they have the disadvantage of starting out with low DPS on the spool, but because this is a filament where your targets get more HP, this thing will spool longer and reach higher DPS. And overall that's a good thing, especially the bigger your target, the more hit points your target has, the faster and the better you're gonna spool on it, and your average DPS will actually be higher. Also comes with a good drone bay, which can be used to pop cans, and also don't forget the DPS even a couple of light drones add. Main weakness, the spool, the range. It's all about the range. This one and the Nurgle have the same weaknesses, it's spool and range and speed. But the range is the biggest one. This set of battlecruisers are the room to look out for. Next up would be the Dremel. The Dremel's really good and at home in the Gamma Abyssal filament. You do get a slight complement of drones, but I fit this one with autocannons. It is also an Angel Cartel frigate, so its afterburn speed is almost like your water drive levels. I would shield tank this one, and all I can say is same thing. The setup other cruisers are annoying. Anything else really does it well. So you can run exotic, electrical and gamma with this one, and just change the drones according to the weather type. You have free ammo selection with projectiles. Then we have the Garmer. So the Garmers, there are active tank fits out there, but I choose to passive tank mine because I find it lazy to run. I run a passive tank fit in gammas with a macro warp drive, so I go super fast. And you do get a velocity bonus on your missiles. I just put light missiles on this thing, or rockets if you want to be a little more close and personal and a little higher DPS. It all depends. I just like to casually guide around. Those light missiles, those rockets. It is also a Mordus Legion frigate. So yes, it does come with a bonus of more point range, but that one we don't use here. About 144 million. Solid A tier. So the next one would be the Mars Navy issue. And I would put this into B tier if you asked me 6 months ago. I don't know exactly what changed, but I went over to another round of testing more recently. This fit is, even with the gamma filament, still so squishy. I remember this one to be better, but I did a lot of runs to verify, and I have to drop it to C tier. This thing, only run this if you have excellent shield skills, and you do need a lot of drone DPS. I did fit this one with drones and artillery, and the artillery is not really used a lot. 54 million costs. Only runs gammas because it needs the shield. It's a Galante frigate. Why don't you armor tank it? Well, very simply put, if I armor tank this thing, you have 0 DPS or close to it. You will not break anything. You need to shield tank it for the sake of DPS. So back end of C tier for this one. Then we have the Nurgle. Same reason as in the other filaments. The only reason I do not put the Nurgle in S tier, not even in gammas, is its weaknesses. You've got the spool, you've got the range, and you've got the speed. The range is the biggest one. It does everything the Damvik does, but it does all of it better. More DPS, better spool, Take 2 resists, the option for an assault damage control if you really needed to. You have the option. A nice drone bay as well. Nurgle, front of A tier, really solid ship, especially for gammas. Then we have the Pacifier. The Pacifier I would put into B tier. I made a passive tank fit with light missiles and artillery just in support, but you can also go the other way, use the artillery as the main one and with the light missile in support. This one only gets better the higher your security status is if you run a shield booster. Honestly, I don't, so that security status doesn't do anything for me even. So if your security status is terrible, go gamma filament with a pacifier and it won't even matter. Because you're not using the bonus of the shield booster. But still, solid ship. I would put it B tier because it's a jack of all trades, master of none. It is great at a lot of things, but it doesn't really master much. It's probably better suited for exploration than it is for abyssals. But the eye needs something. This is one of the best looking frigates in the game, in my opinion. So then we have the probe fleet issue, which would be the second one into B tier. This is an exploration faction frigate that is very much focused on a little bit more on the combat one. You can still go explode with it, but this one can pack a punch. It works with in gammas the best with light missiles. You only get 2 launchers, so you do save a lot on ammunition. It is a decent tank with decent DPS and decent clear time. Definite B tier, middle of the pack. Then we have one that really pains me to put in this tier. because I absolutely love the looks of this ship. I want to fly this more, but it just doesn't give me any reason to. The Republic Fleet Firetail. It is gonna settle right in the D tier. The D tier as in barely possible. You need excellent shield skills and you need good autocannon skills for this one. And you need to know how to fly and what to do. This is not a ship for beginners, this is not an easy one to fly. And I don't like to say it because I love this engine strapped with wings. It's pure meta. Autocannons bolted onto an engine. So the Republic Firetail, I would use in the Abyss. I would of course shield tank it in a gamma filament. I would, instead of autocannons, use artillery on this one to get at least a little bit of range to not get one shot by Tessera battlecruisers. Because the main weakness of the Firetail is the HP, the hit points. This thing is squishy. If you take a wrecking shot, depending on how much of a wrecking shot it is, you're gonna go through most of your hit points on the ship. This is high risk gameplay. I love the ship, but it's just ain't there. Then we have the Vengeance. So the Vengeance I would put in definite front of A tier. The Vengeance can run every single filament. I would go with a micro warp drive for anything except dark filaments. So in gammas, micro warp drive fitted. This thing has very good rocket DPS. It sucks with light missiles, so don't fit light missiles please, save yourself the trouble. It has a very good armor tank. It is a Amar assault frigate. Definitely recommend this one. And then we have the last ship on the list, which would be the Worm. Now the Worm for gammas I put in S tier for a very simple reason that I like passive shield tanks wherever I can, and the Worm is one that lends itself really well to it, to the point where it can even run tier 2 with a passive shield tank, if you have skills. What I mean with that is, I don't suggest alpha clones to run tier 2 with it, not with a passive tank. You may need a little bit of implants to cover the fittings, but for tier 1, this thing is fantastic, even passive tanked. You can active tank it as well, like most of the Worm fits are just active tank, and the fit that works for all of the other 4 filaments, because you never run dark, also works for gammas. You just swap the drones and you do thermal or kinetic damage with the missiles and you are set. Very good shield tank. Great option to guide. Most DPS is in the drones, so your DPS is mobile. Missile range is decent. This one is absolutely an S tier, and alphas can run it, which is even better. For an alpha, this is the ship for abyssals that I recommend, as well as the Hila, which unsurprisingly is also a Gurista ship, so there's a team there. And the note on the Nurgle, I am still tempted, but Nurgle is, I would say, between A and S. I keep it in A for consistency with the other tier lists and filaments, but it is most definitely front of A tier. So that was it for me for the Gamma tier list. I do stream on Twitch under Lord Surtr and Kick as well. You can also find me on YouTube, which is probably where you're watching. So, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Surtr out. I will see you next time.